Hello, you are tuned in live to Sphere Company Broadcasting, SphereCo Studios, live from West Adams, Los Angeles, California. Thank you for tuning in. I'm GoldenBrown. This is SphereCo StudioCraft. Let's bring it up. Alright, how's everybody doing? I may look kind of strange. Got the studio light going. And what I figured today, turn my headphones up. What I figured was we touched on Tractor last week, and I realized that there was so much that I still had to discuss with you, and things like basic fundamental items that I didn't relay this information to you. So I figured we'd come back to this. I'll, spend one more week here, and with the Tractor software, Tractor Pro 3 software, and the Kontrol Z2. So let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and kill this Mac Cam window. Bye-bye. Just, you don't need that. Alright. So, first and foremost, I never spoke to anyone about how to drag or how to load up each track deck. So basically, that being said, you can just go to anywhere in your library that has an MP3 or any of your MP3s. Just find something from there, and you literally are going to drag and drop. So I'm going to drag from my desktop, and I hope you can see this loading into you. Let's do this. Just looking for something kind of generic here. Great. Drop that in. If you can see, I'm going to drag and drop. Once I drag and drop, you'll see the track load up in the track deck B. As soon as the track loads, it will be analyzed. Now, this track has already been through Tractor. Tractor software recognizes this MP3, so it already listed what the BPM and everything is. If you have a new piece of music that you've never imported to Tractor, it will come out and the values will be 0. At that point, you're going to just basically highlight the track, and you'll see me highlighting a track down below. Highlight the track, you're going to left click it, the control button, and then you're going to have a menu that opens up. That menu is going to be a few different subdirectories. The one you're looking for is Analyze. So it's 1, 2, 3, the 4th subdirectory down. I'm hoping this shows, yeah, it shows you exactly. Awesome. So that's a subdirectory. You want Analyze Async. We'll go ahead and select that, and then it brings up another menu. What you're going to choose here is all. You can do special and just do 1 or 2 of these, but I suggest do them all because all of the information that's going to analyze are extremely important to your track, and just the visual information that the track's giving you. So I have all. It's basically, well, it is going to select the BPM. It has a range of 78 BPM to 155. it'll set the beat grid for us. It'll analyze the key, the gain response, as well as replace any locked values. So I'm just going to press OK, and that is doing it. So that's a track called Natural. What I'll do there is you can actually also drag and drop from the actual menu on the computer, but as we talked about last time, if you're watching here on, let me bring up the other camera. If you watch here on the Canon, this is the select. If we want to load the track into track deck A, we're going to press this button here, and it says A. So I'm going to bring this back, and watch. When I press A, you'll see the track loaded deck A, okay? Bam. There it goes. And you see Natural, bam, is loaded up in there. So what I'm going to do is straighten that out for you. Okay. Now, we have the track loaded there. We've already analyzed the track as well. At this point, what we can do is set cue points. So let's look at this. If you're watching on the let me bring this, see if I can bring this up for you. I'm just gonna do this for now so you guys can have a better visual representation. Okay. So, that being said, I can now set cue points and start and stop the track using the first cue point. You see the beat grid is at 1. That's this, number 1. They coincide. So to press this, watch the track start. Oh, let me get the fader up there. Okay, watch this. So that's a little misleading because obviously there's a lot of white noise at the beginning there. So let me do this. We'll set the cue point. So once again, you can see if I press this, it plays, but then as soon as I let off, so does the wave. It stops playing. So what we want to do is actually set this up to, let me bring this screen back for us. You are going to press the 1 and the shift button, which is right here in the middle I'm pointing to. So press 1, shift, let go, and then it's playing. And that was our cue. We want that. So I'm going to stop it. Bring it back. As soon as we get to where it looks like that is going to start, which is right here, I'm going to go ahead and press the 2 on the mixer on this side, and that's going to line us up a cue point. So I'll start it again. 1, hold the shift, let up, and the track will start playing. Once again, these are commands to control the tractor software only by using the Kontrol Z2 mixer. Right now, we're not even touching on the turntables. As you can see, I do have the calibration scope available, but I figured without getting too in-depth and going there, I'll give you the basics of the mixer and the functions within Tractor. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's try it. Set the cue point. Hold release, and 2, bam. So it looks like I may be just in time. See how that works? So now I have on deck A, I have a cue point at 2, and I can keep going. I have 8 of these that I can program, but so we'll start it at 2. Let this track play a little. 85. stop it there. So here's another function that's extremely important, and this is kind of the reason I wanted to show you on this mixer. I know kind of the turntables are, it's an art now these days, because most of these mixers and controllers come with digital breakdown and analytics that'll let you basically sync the tracks by a push of a button. This is no different, and the reason I give this preface is because when I DJ, I actually never use the sync. I do use the visual information it's giving me, but I've always learned to match pitch with the pitch adjust on the turntable and touching the record and massaging it in and out. So that being said, I still do use this visual information that the Traktor software does give me, but I always set it up as close to what I think it is, and then I look up and see how close I am. So the reason I'm telling you this, track A, if you look, the BPM is listed at 85. Track B, I loaded a truck by our friend Bus Rider there, Light Through Me. It's at 80. Now, look down at the mixer. This mixer, I can turn the sync on just by pushing a button. Literally, I'll sync, and then, I'm sorry, I gotta set the master. You set the master by shift, and then it's the letter U. That's the master. Shift and letter U, and then you can just turn on your sync, and that will go. Hold on, let me play it. So the way I have it configured, because I do have it configured for turntables, it's looking for me to hit that pitch adjust. So I've got a workaround here for you, because this is working on these. Excuse me. You're going to have to literally go into the track B of your turntables, and what I'm going to do now is minimize the screen with this. I'll make this a little bit smaller for us. And down here where I'm placing it, it's basically just your track selection. So we'll leave that guy there. And okay, track B, it's at 85. It's letting me do it manually. So what I'll do is I'll play it, shift 1, go, and then I'll go ahead and use my mouse and bring this up to 85 even. And you just gotta get that touch. There we go. That's good enough. I'll bring this down one. It shouldn't make a difference. So now we have 2 here. We'll set one more point where the B comes in. And 3 here. A little behind the beat. We learned this last week. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Bring this back to right where, and you can increase the sine wave to look at the beginning. Drag this back, and then hit the 3 on our mixer. Bam! There's our. Okay? So we have that there, and I'm just going to screw this up a little bit. It's doing it to my mic. Okay, I'm not going to do that. Let's just do this, and then I have a Light Through Me that I'll be able to program over this using B. Okay, here we go. going to stop it there because there is a little bit of an audio delay here with the software. So let me set this back up for you. If you notice, what happened in track B is I set a cue point, but this needs to be the start of the grid. So I'm going to erase that cue point, switch into the beat grid. You see down below there, right next to the tap button that's highlighted, there's move, cue, and grid. We're going to switch to grid, and then we'll go ahead and add our cue point in here. Now, once that cue point goes in, that will be our new one. I'm going to let that play and set up one more cue point. I missed that. That's where we got to put it in. Okay. Hit that 2 right at the beat. Ready? And bam! And I'm slow. So, as always, we're going to go in and clean that up. Use your mouse, bring the cursor back to the beginning of the beat. I highly recommend looking at the wave a little closer because that way it'll let you just really get at the beginning. And then, using our mixer or our mouse, press number 2, and that's our point. So now, we both have them set up. This is actually thinking I could get the BPM just a little closer, and then I lost it. And I lost it. There we go. That's close enough. All right, let's do it. We got the point on track A and 3, and then we have the point in track B on 2 in each channel here. You're watching on the mixer, so I'm going to hit. Now, if I start them both at the same time, they should be pretty damn close. Ready? 3, 2, Alright, there you have it. A couple different effects in the pocket that I can just use. Obviously, if you notice, the first large knob on each track, that is the filter. So it's a very useful DJ tool right here. I noticed that some of the younger DJs now all seem to use this to address the audience, no matter where they are in the mix. And I'm not saying that's wrong, it's just an observation of the sign of the times. It's very useful to broadcast that way, to be able to just squelch down the volume and then talk over it. I am from the school where you always talk over the mic in rhythm and keep it moving. But I do like this feature on the mixer to be able to address the audience differently and squelch that down. Alright, I'm going to stop the track there. Bam. So, I showed you how to import the track, how to select the track, how to analyze the track. If you, let's do this for instance, if you look to the left of your screen, there's a scrolling menu and it's all playlists. So let's say that I like this Light Through Me track and I want to add it to a playlist I have stored with only instrumentals. It's extremely simple. You don't even actually have to highlight the track here. You can, and that brings up the whole playlist that you can look at. But let's say it's not highlighted. I'm going to just find it again, instrumentals. You can just take the track, pull it with your mouse, your mouse, excuse me, and you see it dragging down into instrumentals and just drag and drop and it's in. Pretty simple. And generally, like I said, if you're making these and they're newer tracks, you'll have to go through the analyzation process that I showed you with the left click, because you really want these tracks set up to give you success. I'll show you a good example here. The record pool that I am a member of always sends out DJ friendly mixes, and so what you're gonna do is, what these mixes do is they give you the lead in, 16 bars in, 16 bars out, the build up and everything up before, so you can see why these cue points are important. So I just loaded, we all know this track that I loaded in, extremely famous, but I'm just gonna hit the beat and then make a loop of, like, put another cue point in so you see when that beat comes in and why it's important. So we'll start it, and just as soon as I start it, count your 16 bars. Ready? 8, 14, 15, 16, and bam! There it is. I got it right on point. I put 3, I hit the 3, not the 2, but that's fine. So I stopped it there, and you can see if I decide to start the track here, I believe I have another 16 bars, but you'll be able to see a portion of the song coming in. Ready? Okay, I'm going to start again. Let's try the 16 and see if I'm correct. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and... There's 8, and here we go. Bam. another cue point. If I started here, you know, that brings in the good old. So that's all I'm going to play of that. But you can see I have that queued up. And then if I just want to jump, it just jumps there automatically. So you can see, obviously, why that's important as you build tracks. Sometimes you don't need the whole track. Sometimes you want to get in and out of the track a little sooner. Sometimes you want it starting at that vocal right there. You know, you just want it. So the track preparation is extremely important. I can't stress that enough. To analyze and set up these cue points is it's a time-consuming, but it is a very important part of your preparation for a gig, because if you're just trying to roll without these things having cue points and being analyzed and having track grids, it's going to be a tough night out there, because everything's all over the place. Nothing's really set. Even if you're trying to sync, use the sync button, most of your tracks aren't going to sync correctly because they haven't been analyzed and the beat grids have not been set up. So I just want to stress track preparation. It's extremely important. Alright, last thing I'm going to cover here that I completely forgot to tell you last week is the mixer widget, and I lost that camera, but I'll bring it back here. So we should be back there. Let me just double check, and I apologize for that. So, let me bring this big again. What I'll do is show you in this. Just want to get this a little bigger for you guys. There. Okay, so on this mixer, bring it in here. Here's a master volume booth, and then each channel 1 and channel 2. What the deal is with this is, if you are, let's say, moving these volume pots, I'm going to turn down the low. You see it digitally reads that out and gives you what I'm doing in the physical software. So I turn down the low on track A. I'm going to turn down the mid now. You see the mid go down, and turn down the high. Okay? Now, the fader's at midpoint. If I bring the fader all the way up, look on the mixer, bring it up, you see it's represented now on the screen. Fader all the way up. I'll bring it down, fader all the way down. Same with the crossfader. Track A, crossfader's up, boom, track B. Same with this. If you notice, I'll bring up track A, bring the low, now the mid, and the high back to level. Okay? In addition, your filter, you see this? That's what I was showing you on the mix. You can filter things in and out. So here, I'll play this again. Watch the filter. See the representation as I move it here on the mixer. It's giving me that as well. Same with the EQ, the low, mid, and high frequency. Boom, kill the high, kill the low, crank the mid. All that represents, all that information is on the screen. So I'll stop that there. I think that's it. As I said, I left you last week, and I was like, there's some important information that I forgot to pass along. Just bring this camera back up for us. So, listen, we're working here with the Tractor Control Z2. This mixer is a workhorse. I mean, I can control all of my Tractor software from here, and you really really don't need to touch the keyboard or your laptop. Most of everything can be done just by the mixer alone, and that's huge for a DJ because you don't want to be stuck. I'll bring myself back here. What's up? You don't want to get stuck just reaching all the time, reaching for the screen, reaching for the screen. Not only will it wear out your shoulder, but it's taking you physically out of the mix when basically everything that is in front of you, the mixer per se, if you can run things there, it's making it a one simple, concise piece of equipment that you can rely and depend on to do everything, and that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna call it. I know there's probably so much that I have yet to relay to you as far as information. If I think of more that I can put together, I will. If you have any questions or comments, hit us at any of the message boards. We are live on 3 platforms: Twitch, YouTube, and Periscope, and I thank all the viewers who are tuned in and watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll see you next week. Check the SphereCo board. We got shows coming up this week. October's going to be sick. We got a lot. We're excited about a lot of different things we're going to be doing for you. So thank you so much. I'm GoldenBrown from West Adams, Los Angeles, California, and that's edition of SphereCo StudioCraft.